Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Natalia. Welcome. I am going to be filming my May favorites today. It's been quite a bit since I did a favorites video, and I do have a couple of things here that I have been really enjoying. So if you want to learn what I have been loving this month, then just keep watching. Another quick thing, I am trying to figure out what I want to do in terms of my background. I figured that maybe for like tutorials and stuff, I will film just in front of the wall. That way you guys can focus a little bit more on what I'm doing. I don't know, I figured that that might work. And then for like talking videos like this, then I would just film in front of my vanity or figure out something else. But as you can see, my vanity is not that organized at the moment, so sorry. All my makeup brushes and stuff is right there in the corner, and then here I have like perfumes and hair stuff and stuff like that, and a little candle. So yeah, I mean, I'm again trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. So if you guys like this background for talking videos, then just let me know. The only thing that I'm not too fond of is the reflection of the light in the mirror. It's kind of annoying me, but I will try my best to work with it. So let me know what you guys think about that. But other than that, let's just go get started. I'm going to start with some skincare. I don't have that many skincare items. I think it's actually just two things, but these two things I have been loving, and actually more than one thing here I'm super duper late on, but you know, better late than never, right? The first skincare item that I have been loving is the Mario Badescu Rose Water. This is amazing. Like, I use this at the end of the day when I've already taken off all of my makeup and I want to refresh my skin. This is awesome. It feels very rejuvenating. The scent is pretty strong. So if you're not a fan of the rose scent, then you probably are not going to like this too much. Because the scent is there, but it does feel super refreshing, super hydrating. Again, because of that light, I'm like trying to stick around here, but yeah, so it is super hydrating and I really like it. And I know a lot of people take this like along with them in their purse to refresh their makeup throughout the day. So I haven't used it for that yet, but I have used it at the end of the night as part of my skincare routine, and I really do like it. And it's only like $7. I actually didn't even go looking for this. I was in Urban Outfitters and I found it. I didn't even know that they sell Mario Badescu at Urban Outfitters, but they have like a whole display of their skincare products, but you couldn't beat like the $7 price. So I really like that. It's not quite as there as my Fix Plus, and honestly, what I feel the reason for that is because of the scent. I love the way that Fix Plus smells, and there's just something about the way that it mists out and what exactly it does to your face that this is a very close second. And you know, a big chunk of that, a big reason for that is because of the price, because literally like $7, you can't beat that. But it's not quite there as my Fix Plus, but I have really been liking it this month. Next skincare product that I have been loving is this First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. This is awesome. I actually ran out of my Drunk Elephant Hydra Intense moisturizer, and I had a sample of this. I think it came in like an Ipsy bag or something like that, or it might have been a Sephora Point Perk, but I remember that I had this and I started using it, and it's really hydrating. I mean, it says it's intense hydration for dry, parched skin, and I brought this with me to San Diego and it did the job. And my boyfriend Brian actually got sunburn, and then when we came back, he started peeling like right away. So I had been putting this on him and he really liked it. He actually tried to take it from me. So I wasn't letting that happen. Now let's go ahead, and I have one primer. So we'll talk about this primer. I've mentioned this quite a few times on my channel already, and one of my best friends recommended this to me. This is the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. This, I can't get enough of this. Like, I use this every single day. And I love, just like the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, that you can see how much you've been using. So like that pump keeps going up, and I've used this quite a bit. I love it. You only need the tiniest amount, which I learned the hard way, that you only need very, very little to apply, like to fill your pores. And then I like to apply it in my T-zone just because I feel like it really does smooth out my skin. And this is amazing. Like, I can't get enough of this. I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this. Primers is one of those things that once I find something that I like, I stick to it for a while. And before this, I was using something that was totally the opposite. I was hooked on the Too Faced Hangover RX primer, and I still love that, especially since my skin is still dry. But since I've discovered this just gives me a lot smoother of a finish underneath my foundation. So what I've been doing to combat the dryness is just making sure that I am moisturizing as best as possible to make sure that I don't have any dry flakes or any dry patches or anything like that. And this has just smoothed out my skin. But you only need a little bit of it, because if you use too much, it will start to flake off of the skin, like these silicone primers tend to do. So be careful with the amount that you apply, because you don't want to have that flakiness come off. It's not good. Next, jumping into foundation, I actually have 3 foundations, and the first one is probably going to come as no surprise if you've watched my last few videos. It's the Stellar Limitless foundation. I feel like this came out of nowhere. A couple of months ago, Sephora just kind of dropped this on all of us, and I was in the Sephora at the World Trade Center Oculus Mall, and they had it, so I bought it knowing nothing about it. I had seen it on Sephora's website, but I had never seen swatches. I had never seen anybody do any videos or anything like that. So literally blindly bought this, which is something that I almost never do. Like, I swear by YouTube, and I swear by Instagram, and by reviews and everything. So for me to just blindly buy a foundation, especially, I was crazy. This is beautiful. Now, the coverage is medium coverage, but it is buildable. I like to apply it with a sponge. I know when I did my foundation first impressions for this, a lot of you guys were telling me, don't use a sponge, use a brush. And I tried using a brush, but I'm not a fan of the way that it looks. I like the sponge that I use, and the sponge that I use that I've been hooked on is the Mikasa Beauty sponge. I haven't touched my beauty blender since I started using this, like seriously. I actually have a coupon code for this, which I'll link down below. I do apply more than one layer. I apply 2 layers, but very light second layers. So I apply a few dots along my face, right here, blend that in, and then a couple more dots depending on where I need the extra coverage, and then blend that in, and the finish is just the most amazing, like satin finish. You do need to set this foundation. Like, I would not leave the house without setting this foundation, because it will like melt off, and it does look very satiny. It's not a matte finish, so especially if you have oily skin, you make sure that you set your face, girl. And it lasts so long. Like, I can get through a 9-hour work shift, and by the time I come home, my foundation still looks good. Like, if I want to go out after, I can still do it. And I'm the type of girl that I don't touch up my makeup, so for me to say that that lasts, like, that means something to me. This is another thing that I'm super late on the bandwagon to. It's the Makeup Forever HD foundation. I brought this, the Stellar, and the next foundation that I'm going to be talking about to San Diego with me, and this is the one that I ended up wearing the most because I felt like I needed less of it. So like I said, the Stellar foundation is absolutely amazing, by far my favorite, but you do need 2 layers. This, I can just swipe on my face and go, especially since, like, I wasn't trying to be the reason why anybody was late to anything. So I needed something that was gonna blend out quickly and easily and look good, and this did that for me. This was my first adventure with a stick foundation. I've never used a stick foundation. As much as I love makeup, I've used creams, I've used powders, I've used liquid, but I've never used a stick foundation. And This is really, really good. Like, I know why this is a cult favorite for a lot of people. I love the Makeup Forever HD Liquid Foundation. I love the Makeup Forever Dual Matte Powder Foundation. So I figured that this would be great, and it is. Next foundation is a lot less expensive than the other two that I mentioned. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer. This is the other one that I brought with me to San Diego, and this is amazing, especially for the price. Like, the coverage that you get is very, very flawless. The only thing that I have with this is that I feel like it does settle in my lines. So like in my smile lines, around my nose, it'll start to settle a little bit. So I have to make sure that I set my face really, really well when I apply this foundation. But other than that, the coverage is amazing. The color, I think, could be a little bit darker for me. I use the shade Tan, and this was the darkest shade that I found at I bought it at CVS or Walgreens, I can't remember. I'm not sure if there's a darker shade than number 9 Tan, and if there's not, Milani, come on. So that's the only thing. I feel like it's a smidge too light, but when I apply my setting powder, the Makeup Forever Dual Matte, it does even out the color. So I really, really do like this. Next, let's talk about eyeshadow. So the first palette is something that's very, very new. And by new, I mean like 3 days. But I have to mention it because it is quickly something that I love. I knew I was gonna love it. I knew that I was gonna be obsessed, so I'm not afraid to mention it in my May favorites. And it's still technically May, so I'm good, right? This is the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. I just did a tutorial or little get ready with me, the video before this one, so it should be the video before this one, but that's where I used this palette. It is gorgeous. You guys have probably already seen this all over your Instagram and YouTube. And let me just swatch some of the shades for you. The shades are a little bit powdery, but they're very, very pigmented. This palette reminded me a lot of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and I am ride or die for that palette. Like, I love those types of shades, those burgundies, those warm oranges and browns, and I live for that. So I knew that I was going to be a sucker for this, hence why I spent the $130 on it. I never thought that I would ever, with my own money, buy a Natasha Denona palette because they are so expensive, but I saw that palette and I had to have it. Like, I had to have it. Next palette that I've been obsessed with as well is this Juvia's Place Masquerade palette. I picked this up at IMATS and it is gorgeous. It's huge, which is why I was so sad I didn't take it with me to San Diego because it was so big. But look at how big these eyeshadows are. I paid like $25 for this palette. Let's just compare, just for the hell of it, the two palettes. So the Natasha Denona palette is 15 shadows, and then these are 16 shadows. But look at the size difference. Like, that's insane. You get your neutral shades, and then you also get pops of color. So if you want to do something funky, then you can totally do that with this palette. But I think that this is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And like I said, it was only $25 at IMATS. I don't think it's that much more expensive on their website. But this is gorgeous. An amazing palette. Sticking with eyes, I want to share two lashes that I've been obsessed with as well. These are both by Coco Lashes, and the first one, I put this one back in upside down, but this is Chloe Queen Bee. Queen Bee is one of those ones that, again, is a cult favorite. I know Lusterlux swears by Queen Bee, and I finally purchased them at IMATS. I actually purchased two, but I absolutely love the lashes. You don't even feel them when you put them on. I'm not wearing either of them right now, but I'm obsessed with that. And then sticking along with lashes, I have fallen back in love with my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I had purchased one of those Sephora favorites, the mascara ones, and this one came in it. Of course, it comes in every single one, but with good reason. This is a very, very good mascara. It lengthens, it separates, it adds volume, and it doesn't flake. Before this, I was loving the NARS Audacious mascara, but that one flaked on me so bad. And I don't know what it is. Like, I have 2 friends that use it too, and it doesn't do that to them. But like literally at the end of the day when I would apply that mascara, I would come home with like flakes all here and just dark spots. It was just not cute. And as soon as I switched over to this, it stopped happening. So I knew there was nothing wrong with me. Maybe I got a bad mascara, I don't know, but this is my jam. Now let's take it over to blush. I've been mentioning this in quite a few videos on my channel. This is the Morphe 9N Blush Palette. This is amazing, like amazing. And if you're a makeup artist, you need this and probably a few of the other Morphe blush palettes. Like seriously, you don't need to buy any single blushes. This is amazing. There's the dog downstairs just barking its life away. I hope it's okay. This blush palette is amazing. This is the 9N one, and these are all the neutral shades, of course. If you're looking for blushes to use for everyday, or you don't want to spend money on a bunch of single blushes, this is amazing. I think this is like in the $20 to $22 range or something like that. Very, very affordable, especially considering the fact that you get 9 blushes and you can mix them, match them. They look good with any look. I can't rave enough about this. And you can also use them as eyeshadows if you want to, but I absolutely love this blush palette. I want to talk about one highlighter, and it's another Makeup Forever product. This is the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo. Now they do have this highlighter separately. This is the number 2 one, and I've had this for such a long time, and I don't know what it was. I just pulled this out one day and it blew my mind away. I was like, why the hell did I not break this out any sooner? And I think honestly it was because I was using the wrong brushes with this. With this, I've been using the Anastasia Beverly Hills A23 brush, but this is amazing. Again, I'm not wearing it right now. Like, why would I be wearing any of the products I'm mentioning today? I don't know, that's insane. But this is amazing. Like look at that shimmer. It's beautiful, especially if you're around my skin complexion, a little bit lighter and darker. This is amazing. This is the golden one. There is another one, the number 1, which is a more pink highlight, but I only got this one, and they do sell it like the whole pan now, which this is how it originally came out with the bronzer. I never used the bronzer because no, but they do sell it separately, so you should definitely go pick that up if you're looking for a new highlighter. I think that one is super underrated. I think that when it came out, people were talking about it. I think Nicole Guerrero was the one who started talking about it, but after that, like, it kind of disappeared and people just stopped talking about it. But I think it's so good. It's not powdery. It's beautiful. Let's talk about lippies. The first lippy that I want to mention is this Tarte, I think this is the Rainforest of the Sea collection, right? It says Color Splash lipstick. I don't even know. But this is in the shade Colada. I love this. I am wearing it right now. It's just a really pretty nude shade. If you're my complexion, it just goes perfectly. I just threw the Sephora Perfect Nude Gloss over it, but it just complements any look, especially if you're doing something a little bit more heavy on the eyes like this. That dog is going ham. I think they like locked it in a room. Okay, stop. Hello? What's up?
You want something to eat?
Yeah. You know what I get? A man who gets you food is a keeper. Next lipstick that I have been loving is this one from Stila. This is one of their Stay All Day liquid lipsticks in the shade Beso. This is the most beautiful red. I'm really worried about that dog. Last thing that I've been loving is the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I'm super late on this bandwagon as well, but it is that good. Like, I just can't get over it. So, yeah. So that is pretty much it for all of my favorites this month. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.